Back in the 1950s, Western Europe was in a post-war recovery boom. More people could now afford the nicer things in life. And in the automotive world, that meant exclusive coupes and convertibles. Karmann always specialized in open-top cars, explains our car reviewer Christoph. The Osnabrück-based coach maker turned out its first slick-looking convertibles and coupes in 1902 for all manner of car makers. But its moment of real glory came in 1958 with a Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, named after the coach maker that actually built it. And rightly so, because the car would never have materialized had it not been for Wilhelm Karmann Jr., company chief and son of its founder. In the early 1950s, he persuaded VW boss Heinrich Nordhoff to put together a prototype. La Dolce Vita from Osnabrück, declares Christoph. The design of the Karmann Ghia was most unusual for a West German car in the 1950s, and it's no surprise to see an Italian behind it, Ghia head designer Luigi Segre. Wilhelm Karmann secretly asked him to put a beautiful metal shell onto a used Beetle chassis. In 1953, VW's hard-nosed boss, Heinrich Nordhoff, looked at the prototype and loved it. The Karmann Ghia went into production. The coupe got the undertaking rolling in 1955. This old advertisement shows workers polishing the Karmann by hand. The message was clear. The new Volkswagen promised exclusivity, elegance, and dynamic handling at an affordable price. The car was also marketed in the U.S.
One of the most exhilarating cars in the world, the Karmann Ghia by Volkswagen.
That said, the Karmann Ghia's performance always trailed behind the promise of its dynamic appearance, although good looks can get you a long way. Just look at those curves. It's as if the car were cast from one block of metal, and it is. The doors and hood are bolted on, but otherwise all the body parts are welded together. That translates into high torsional stiffness. But on the other hand, every single repair job on this very rust-proof body requires a blowtorch. Many people consider the Karmann Ghia the best-looking Volkswagen of all time. The contours are perfection, and a veritable delight for the eyes. And there's a range of other loving details that make the car a pleasure just to look at, let alone drive. The Karmann has 32 kilowatts of power and sprints to 100 kilometers per hour in a leisurely 23 seconds. Top speed is 136 kilometers per hour. The car was especially popular with the ladies, explains Christoph, earning it the naughty nickname Housewife's Porsche. It is 20 kilometers per hour faster than the Beetle, thanks to its aerodynamics, but it's worlds away from a Porsche. A marriage of spectacular design and conventional production car engineering, the Karmann Ghia was the manifestation of an ingenious concept, one that Volkswagen and Porsche would further develop to acclaim with the 914 and 924 models. The Karmann Ghia deserves a lot of credit in Christoph's eyes. It was a breath of fresh air to West Germany's post-war streets, and the styling also opened up opportunities for other Italian designers in the German car industry. And that's enough reason to call the Karmann Ghia a milestone in automotive history. The Karmann Ghia was in production for almost 2 decades, from 1955 to 1974. It was the first time automobile haute couture was available for the man on the street, too.